Hello, this is Daniel from sound.headquarters.inc. In today's video, we are in collaboration with Signal Acoustics, installing one of their Room Essentials packages and transforming this space from this to this in one easy install. I'm going to show you step by step the whole process of following along with the Room Essentials drawings and plans and getting all of these acoustic panels installed, and we'll talk a little bit about the locations and types of panels used and why they're going in the places that they are. So here is the client's space. This is a home studio, this is a nice room at the back of the house, and here is the Room Essentials package design side. So in any Room Essentials package from Signal Acoustics, you get a full design set of drawings and renderings like that, where it shows you exactly how to install everything, and it also shows you what your room is going to look like when it's all done. So right now we're starting with the front wall, and we're going to go ahead and do all of our markouts and start installing these cleats. So what I'm doing is I'm using drywall anchors, and I'm using 1.5 inch screws to screw through that cleat into my drywall anchors. So now we're going to start on the right side wall, and you can see I can just look at the plans there, and I just follow along with the exact dimensions that are on the plans. So with the Room Essentials package, someone from Signal Acoustics will come out on site and will actually get full complete measurements and a 3D scan of your space, and that way we can accurately design the acoustic implements and know exactly where they're going to go on the wall, and then it makes my life as an installer so much easier. And if you decide to get a Room Essentials package and install it yourself, it's very step-by-step and very straightforward. So you can see there for these horizontal panels, we have to use metal cleats because these panels are designed to be hung vertically with the integrated cleat, but if you want to hang them horizontally, then you have to use a additional cleat that you screw into it. So we just used metal flush mount cleats, and using the cleat as opposed to a more kind of solid mounting system, the cleat is really handy because it gives you that left to right adjustability. So after you mount the cleat on the panel and on the wall, you have a few inches of left to right, and it just really helps to get that exact fine tuning and get us to be very accurate in terms of the measurements that were in the design and the real world measurements on site when we actually install your room. So there you can see we have that one panel going underneath the window there. And here's a little shot of the current progress. And now we're going to check out our design file, and now we can see the rest of the panels that need to go on this left side wall. So I think right now we're about to tackle these 3 upper panels that go above the windows, and the placement of these is good. We want to have as much absorption around that glass being one of the most reflective surfaces in any studio. We do want to make sure that we have absorption above and below, especially since that critical spot of right at monitor and listening height, it is glass, so you are getting a bit of a nasty reflection off there, but the client is also adding curtains as well. So now we're trying to solve the issue of mounting this panel on the door. The door had this kind of molding on it that stuck out about 1/2 inch. So what I had to do was create some sort of spacer for me to be able to mount the cleat on top of. And so that's what I did there, and then I locked it in on the bottom with a L bracket to make sure that as the door moves and opens and closes, that panel does not ever come loose or come off the door, keeping everything nice and secure for the client. So here my dad's helping me out with the ceiling spec, getting all these clouds installed, especially for this client. These are called the Hugo clouds. Signal Acoustics has 2 lines of acoustic panels and all the separate sizes, but as you can see, that first mixed position cloud is the Hugo, which is about 6 inches deep, and then the rest of the clouds are from the Milo series, which are about 3 inches deep. And those Hugos definitely is a 2-person operation. Anytime you're installing in the ceiling, it always helps to have a second set of hands, both for the measuring and also for the actual installation. So you can see we're installing the quick links and the anchors and chain, and we're just following the spec of Signal's drawings. So in those drawings, it outlines how low these chains need to be. for us to get the proper angle on those mixed position clouds. So I'm just following along with the designs. I believe these were about 6 inches of final hardware off of the ceiling. And then it was really convenient that the cloud spec in this room was just 2 rows of 3. So once we have the markings at the front of the room and the back of the room, we can use that laser level to connect those markings, and then we just have to measure out across that laser line. And that helps us get really, really consistent markings and lineups when we mount these ceiling clouds. Unlike the wall panels that are on the cleats that have that left to right adjustability, these ceiling clouds, as soon as you screw them into the ceiling, I mean, they're going to be exactly where you put the anchors, right? So it's really important that on the ceiling we take that extra time and care to make sure that all of the markouts are exactly where they need to be. So the laser level helps massively with that. And also just taking your time and making sure that we have our cross-reference points. I always reference the center of the room and the center of the room both ways, and kind of make sure that we have a complete basis that's equalized front to back, left to right, that we can reference off of. Every single room is always going to have some sort of weird variance where if the wall at the floor is say 100 inches, at the ceiling it might be 101 inches, or there might just be little things where you do your measurements and you notice that there's inconsistencies depending on where you measure from or what reference point you're using. So that's why it's very important, especially on the ceiling, that you have a solid reference point that you've double checked from all sides. And then if there is discrepancies, you can equalize whatever discrepancies there are and then treat that as your true reference point to measure everything off of. So the last thing that we did for the studio was assemble the desk. This is the Nico desk, it's called, from Signal Acoustics. And it's really cool because this is like a flat pack kind of operation where it arrives just in the flat pack boxes, and then using the cam locks and dowels, you can just assemble the desk. It's like IKEA furniture, but a lot easier and less steps. So right now we're just screwing the racks in, and then that is your final studio right there. We also installed or placed, I should say, these they're called Sono, these cylindrical bass traps from Signal Acoustics. Really cool kind of trap slash scatter kind of operation that they have going on there. It's a really unique product, and it's really convenient as an installer since it doesn't require installing. It just stands upright in your room, right? So it's a great option for those corners where you do want to have bass trapping, but you do also get the reflection off of the actual kind of shape of the frame of the cylinder. So really cool stuff. And then all of the wood panels on top of the panels themselves are called Raya. They're like scatter plate, diffusion plates kind of thing that go on top. So check out Signal Acoustics if you're interested. Check out sound.headquarters.com. Tune in for more studio building. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Daniel from Sound Headquarters. Peace out.